Welcome to this segment of AKT Celebrity Reads. I'm your host, Alexis K. Tyler. I am a psychic medium. I speak to those that are physically dead yet are still alive, that move between here and the other side and come back to share their messages. This is not me. I don't like to be on here every day or once or twice a day giving these messages, but Nipsey is telling me to give the messages right now, even though I have not really been feeling that well. I guess I'm doing it now because I need your love and support more than ever. Someone, please, one of my good, loyal, following students, please put the Cash App and make it clap. Hit my Cash App, bitch. Click like. Keep it a book. Goddamn it. Keep the likes up. Goddamn it. Hit the like up, subscribe, because you see they be blocking my videos, be putting restrictions, age restrictions and shit on my videos, and people on here say and do worse than I motherfucking do. But yet they want to always try to censor me and suppress me like they've done when I first started in 2006, 2007. Goddamn it. So Nipsey must be having me tell you this for a reason, because I know that, I'm probably going to have to take a break with the stuff I'm dealing with my health and get healthy and strong again. So I'm doing my best. And the spirits wake me up so early. I'm still seeing Tookie. He's talking to people that are coming. They are already over here from the other side. They are coming from other constellations, the Anunnaki, the Nibiru, the Pleiadians. And I keep, I'm tired of so-called black people coming over here saying this is all white folks' fault, or all the Pleiadians or from Pleiades constellations are all white people and all white ETs. That's not true. A lot of these people are from they're intergalactic beings and outside of this galaxy and other constellations that were so-called race mixed or DNA mixed. And you have to go back to the story of Enlil and Enki to really understand this. And some of them were slave races and suppressed by our people. We enslaved white folks at one time, even in the United States. And this so-called black status is not a real status. It doesn't exist. There was never a so-called black person or black race. There's no black land. There's Italians, and their home is Italy. There are Romans, and we know they're back to Italy. There are Greeks, and we know they go back to Greece. There are Africans, we know there are African. There are Mexican, we know there are Mexico, but the U.S. is also a part of Mexican territory, an indigenous Native American territory that's also mixed with so-called African and indigenous people. These people that are mixed with European or Mestizo and Mexican or Latin have been taught to hate so-called black people and people of color. That is a status that was made to separate people, indigenous people, from North America and their land and the ancestors of their land. Your grandmothers, your grandfathers, usually the land used to go through the blood of the mother, the matriarch. Thank you, baby. And we're going to come back. We're going to do another show doing Vagina Power. I want to shout out Heaven Hollywood, because that show is dedicated to him. And so we're going to come back later, but I was compelled to do this. So I have to do what the spirits are telling me to do. I really want racist black people to stay off my page. I don't want your comments. I don't want to hear your comments, because you think you know everything and you don't. And you think all black people, so-called black people, are people that are African, have African roots, are the most spiritual people on the planet. And they are very spiritual, and they are the first ones here. Scientists will tell you that. White scientists will tell you that. But they are not all spiritual in a righteous way. They are the first devils are the black devils, and they're the ones that betrayed us and caused us to be in the situation we're in now by making deals with extraterrestrials of other races and splicing genes. We're the first scientists and first gene splicers from Egypt, Lemuria, Atlantis, and Atlanta is the new Atlantis. These planets, we first inhabited those, and then we were created, and some of us have been gene spliced, children of a lesser God, children of the Adamic nature, the fallen man, Adam and Eve, That was one of the creations. That was not the first creation. As I've told you, you need to go back and get the original Matrix movie, and you need to watch it and rewatch it, and the original Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator movies. But the original Terminator man, the superhuman, would be men like Tookie Williams and the ones before them. Those were the first genetic supermen. And if you look at all these superheroes, just like Stan Lee that created the comics, he will tell you that the first woman, the comic Storm, was from a black woman, a so-called black woman, a African woman, an indigenous woman that is Mother Nature. That's a white man that is saying that. And if you look it up, you can Google it and say, what is the Egyptian counterpart of Superman, of Storm, of Wonder Woman? You will see that's where their basis is. Just like the story of creation, the Trinity, Father, Mother, Holy Ghost, Father, Mother, Son, Haru, the crucified one, the sacrificed one, that goes back to African and Native American stories of creation, the Father, the Mother. Get it together. Because I get so tired of these younger, stupid black motherfuckers over here want to come over here and tell me that I'm stupid. I'm the one that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, bitch, I've been here before you, and I'm going to be here after you. And a lot of these things I don't have to read and study. These things you don't know, like some dumb bitch, some young, stupid, dumb bitch that don't even know how to wash her ass real good, still got piss in her ass. I mean, it's like a year ago, you talking about, I was saying, one of my sayings is don't slip on this drip. You telling people don't slip on the drip, but you don't know the real Jesus, and that's Caesar Borgia. I'm like, bitch, you must have just learned that today. Or you must have just learned that yesterday, and you're trying to tell it to me as if it's something that I don't know or didn't know years ago. Bitch, you don't know who the fuck you're talking to. Because I don't disclose everything I know. It's not safe for me, and I've already disclosed a lot to put my life in jeopardy and being threatened to be murdered. With this Nipsey Hussle thing and giving information about it, and even years before that, when people, black and white, fought to get me off the air in Atlanta. But the people made me popular. The people made me viral. Even though they were erasing videos and canceling pages out, people were still finding me. And some of the main people, because I had a reading with one of my gay godchildren today. We're going to finish it afterwards because I usually don't do morning. I never do morning readings. But I did it for him. And I'm going to finish it. A lot of the gay men and the ones that are cross-dressers or dress up in a gay club or transgender, they made me a cult classic. And they made my sayings cult classics. They literally immortalized me, and people kept looking for me. They didn't know I was very sick because I had been poisoned in 2012 and 2013. By trusting someone with Herbs D Health Store in LA and the conscious community. They wondered what happened. They thought I was dead. They didn't know where I was. I'm like, bitch, I ain't going nowhere. I had to retreat, of course, because I was very ill, but I ain't going nowhere. And they literally resurrected me. I didn't know people were looking for me. I didn't even Google myself. They're like, what happened to that lady? Where is that lady? Where's Vagina Fire? I'm like, you looking for me? Like, mystical bitch, here I go. But I came back harder and rawer this time, exposing things that people never wanted me to expose, and showing you, exposing myself to you, showing you other talents and abilities that I naturally have and that I naturally know, and the downloads that I see the younger generation, the millennials, appreciate me better and harder than people my age. I thank you. I love you because you love me when nobody else has ever loved me and supported me. It's so surprising that a whole nother generation of babies, millennials, that are wide open for the knowledge and truth. I was even told by my godson that had sampled my food a couple of weeks ago. He said he was running into people his age, late 20s and 30s, that were talking about, you heard of this lady, Alexis K. Tyler? She's been doing these Nipsey readings. You know, she do the celebrity reading. He said, that's my godmother. They were like, you lying. You know her? He's like, yes, that's my mommy. And he showed them pictures of me and the food I cooked, and they went crazy when he sampled my food. They're like, oh my gosh, she cooks too. And I said, wait a minute. So they are resurrecting me in Atlantis and Atlanta and the dirty South. They talking about me behind my back. He said, mama, it's so many younger people my age and millennials, they love you. I was absolutely shocked that they are ready for the information, and they're very spiritual, and they have the inkling and the interest and that pulling inside of them. They want to know the truth. They want to know deeper parts of themselves. They want to evolve. And said, he asked, well, can I be taught by her? I want to know more about the knowledge. I want to know about the altars. I want to know about the saging and the prayer. I said, are you kidding me? They want to know that? He said, yeah, mama. I said, oh my God. They ready? He said, mom, they love it. They love the reading. They love Nipsey. They're glad you're doing it. They watch the altars. They love you, love him. I said, oh, wow. I had no idea, because when I started doing Vagina Power in 2006, Atlanta went crazy. And then they did what they could to hush me up and get me off the air. They didn't want that information out. But everybody named mama was doing all kind of nasty shit and stripping and freaky shit on People TV. And all I did was sit there with my clothes up, talking, electrifying the people with my mouth, electrifying the eyes, the ears, and the senses with just my mouth and my energy and personality, projecting it on the screen through the camera. And it was spreading. And I didn't do anything vulgar or pornographic, but it's like, we don't like her. She can't be telling this stuff. Even though it's true, she can't be telling it the way she's telling it. And it's the way she's telling, and her fucking mouth. And I said, you know what? Even if I calmly tell it, it's clear you just don't like me. Some people are born like that, and they're just not liked. So instead of you trying to assimilate, you're going to have to be in the world and not of it, because they will destroy you, because the energy that you are born with. Now, there's a couple things. I can't see you right now. It's just a screen. I just see my ceiling, fan of my ceiling. So please continue to support me. Hit the Cash App, make it clap. Hit the Cash App, bitch, because I really need your love and support, since I see y'all are really riding. Y'all younger people are riding harder for me than people my age and older, and all these fucking enemies that don't want me to do what I do the way I do it. So I have to find another way to do what I'm doing to get it to you. Like I said yesterday, I don't care if it's the downloads, or I don't know if people listen to DVDs anymore, CDs. I don't know. I got to get other ways to get it to you on a grassroots level, or a street level, or I guess I can just do videos on another platform for you to see me, or private classes, because a lot of you are also watching private classes or private lessons from me. Now, I'm looking at Tookie. He has a group of people around him that have come back over here, but some of them I don't know. And some of these people are in entertainment and management that were murdered inside of entertainment. And they're saying a lot of things that you all need to watch. Did y'all see that last night or the day before yesterday? There was a Chicago jeweler that's inside of drill culture that was hanging with dirty black ass goddamn Lil Boosie, goddamn it. They murdered that man. That's a jeweler that's also inside of the gang culture and rap culture. They murdered him a couple of nights ago, and he was with Lil goddamn Boosie. See, I done already told y'all Lil Boosie was a damn haint. I told y'all Lil Boosie could not be goddamn be trusted when I seen him do that shit to Mo 3 and was managing Mo 3, and they shot his goddamn ass, and he benefited, him and Empire benefited off for it. I told you, I'm saying like a month or so ago, Lil Boosie wasn't no damn good. I know Lil Boosie really was getting ready to sacrifice somebody when Lil Boosie was getting stopped by the police just last week, a few days ago, out there buck dancing and hucker bucking and opening his ass for them goddamn state patrols, and them police is down here when they pulled him over on the goddamn highway 2 times and talking about he was willing to take a drug charge. Don't you think that's strange? As black as he is and as nappy-headed as he is, down here in the dirty South, niggas like him, they've been stringing them up on trees in Atlanta and Mississippi and Alabama for over 100 goddamn years. Just like Plies did that song a long time ago, give a nigga 100 years. Niggas that look like him, black like that, and the only thing late, I'm just keeping it real. So fuck y'all that don't like it, because I know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm born here. And you need to know the fucking history of Georgia and how they string niggas from motherfucking trees. This is niggas like him that they like to do that shit to. And sometimes you see he looks so evil, like he just got them blood shot ass eyes, black like that, and drawed up and lit like a fucking crackhead with white teeth. And he out there dancing. Man, come on. This nigga's a part of the goddamn system. Nigga is a plant. Nigga is an agent. Nigga done sold his soul, because I see it down through his liver and that diseased blood in him down to his booty hole. I see it in him. You really think a nigga that look like him is going to be stopped by the police, get out on camera, sing and dance, and get glorified and millions of views, and some white polices don't touch him, don't lock him up, don't take that goddamn billy club out and beat his motherfucking ass senseless, beat him to sleep, lock him up and take him down to Grady Hospital, because that's where they go, and charge him. Then he asked to be charged and they refused. That is a promo op for him. That's a publicity stunt for him. Then a few days later, he's hanging with a rapper, the rapper listening to his music, and them demons being released through the speaker, the master that they was put on to go through his music, and then they shot that goddamn boy. Now, I'm not saying that they don't rob and shoot them in that culture, but why him? See, y'all need to watch who y'all stand close to and that music industry right now, because what we're dealing with is the serpents. The serpent constellation is wide open and loose. Y'all don't know who y'all fucking with. It's certain rappers that are also agents and producers and managers in there with Kodak Black and French in Montana, like I told y'all, up under the old guard system, the old gatekeepers like P. Diddy, Jay, DJ Khaled, T.I. See, there's getting ready to be a real bad shifting. And I've told y'all before, LA, Chicago, Philly, NYC, all of the gang culture and the drill rap is some real nasty shit going on right now in Chicago, Philly, NYC, from LA. I have always told y'all, from LA, the upper cities like that, Chicago, DC, Philly, NYC, going into Atlanta, some real bad drug trafficking, sex trafficking, child sex rings, demonic sacrificing is happening right now under your nose. Why? Because we are in the age of Aquarius and we are in NASA, Nipsey, NASA, Navy, coming from a couple of those constellations. We're dealing with Osiris, we're dealing with Orion, we're dealing with the Seven Sisters and Pleiades, we are dealing with the Serpentine fire and the serpent, the serpents constellation, which is also dealing with the 13th astrology sign, which would also be connected to Sagittarius and Scorpio, dealing with sex, blood, death, resurrection, and money, pussy, dick, money, and weed. And it also ties to the 140,000 or 144,000, was it with Jehovah's Witnesses that said they would be saved. No, this is upside down, because when you look at the Serpent's constellation dealing with the 13th horoscope and the Serpent cult, the Serpent cult and the Serpentine constellation opposes Osiris and opposes Orion and Sirius. So you will get the opposite effect. I hope you are doing don't say you weren't warned, because there's going to be one, instead of 144,000 saved, there will be 144,000 deaths starting right now, dealing with blood, dick, and pussy around your male and female organs and your upper respiratory systems, death through sex, drugs, money, and entertainment, and contracts you sign. All of these young people are getting ready to die. That drill rap culture tied to the streets, street gangs, entertainment, and police, and secret police societies, and underground prisons, and underground jails, underground drugs, underground culture. You're dealing with a sexual, drug, mental, emotional, spiritual, and religious upside down death cult. All of these young people and these young Black boys and Black women, preferably the boys, the youth, have been programmed to kill each other and kill themselves. Those organizations with that drill culture and them old niggas, them old school niggas, are trying to resurrect their career and their consciousness. They have been placed over the youth as an agency over the youth to help them self-destruct and sign these contracts to sell their soul and to sell each other out. And they are secret agents with the police, with law enforcement and the feds, and they've already had a grid put on them. And for sex trafficking, organ trafficking, and transfer, when they have these parties in these hotels and they have these parties in the hood and in these clubs, there are already people designated, young people, to be designated and murdered, and they are inside of the homes of these women that are left and abandoned by these men with these young boys and these young girls, and they are teaching them to set each other up, kill or be killed. Do you realize a lot of these young people, they are actually living this life, their children? And Chicago, and dealing with the whole hierarchy system, this pyramid system, they are very brilliant, very gifted and talented, but they are taught to be in their POWs. A lot of them are prisoners of war, and they have armies and militias. They're taught to fight and kill each other. That's the only way they survive. And they see each other. They taught to hate themselves and to hate each other. And their way out, they're looking for, is music. And you have these old niggas, these old gatekeepers, and these women. A lot of them are their mothers, their girlfriends, these women looking for attention, looking to be loved and accepted, because they daddies and they brothers are either in that culture, or they're gone, or they're dead, or they're in jail, which means they're already dead, because this culture, they've been so flooded. They have been so flooded with a upside down murder culture. So the meaner you are, the more vicious you are, the more willing you are to kill each other. Hit the Cash App. Y'all being stingy now, because I have been very open and very giving to you with these information, and being obedient to what Nipsey's telling me, and what these other people and Tookie Williams is telling me, and Eazy-E, a whole group of them are telling me. Then it is fair that y'all give back to me, because I'm trying to drop this off the fastest as I can. And I don't have to share this information with you, because it doesn't really benefit me to share this information with you. But I am been told to warn you about what is happening, and how this economy with food, money, the life you know, entertainment, gasoline, real estate, foundation, projects, apartments, renters, is getting ready to fall. It's getting ready to crash into total mayhem and a purge society. And what you need to realize, that's why I said, these black people, keep your racist, prejudiced, stupid ass off of my page and my channel, because the cannibals, and the murderers that will come to you will be black. They will be sicked on you in a violent, murderous, self-suicide, genocidal pact and culture. The more violent a young woman is, the more violent a young black man is to his own people, and the more violent he is on video, those are the ones that will get the perks and the rewards for killing your motherfucking ass. So if it makes you feel better to say white people are my enemy, white people are doing this, why it's their fault, go do it somewhere else, because white people are not going to be the first ones that walk up and bust your window or kick your door in and rob you and carjack you. It will be somebody's young daughter or young son that's hiked up on that shit that will get you on the expressway, get you at the liquor store, get you at the gas station, or catch you in the motherfucking parking lot at church. And what Nipsey's saying too, the churches and the institutions, they are part of the secret serpent cult that is controlled by the higher up churches and coming from Rome. Those are the ones, when you go to those churches and you're calling that Jesus, the one that's up on the cross, that is the one that's connected to the serpent constellation that has unleashed the secret council, the cosmic council from that constellation to release death upon you. So when you are in there praying for justice, praying for protection, praying for salvation, and the more you pray for it, the more your children in that drill culture and that rap culture are turning against you, and the more they shoot each other and kill each other and hate each other, and the more violent their music becomes, and they start picking each other off because they are numbered. The ones that you see, and you see certain people standing by them, look at these people that interview them. No Jumper, Vlad TV. Look at some of these people, black and white, that interview them. When they raise them to that level and their agents interview them, you will see usually those are in the groups that get motherfucking shot. Because they have to own them, and they have to take the oath and sign the agreements. And then they keep going back to French Montana again. Look at everybody French Montana is connected to, and all the old guard niggas, the old school niggas. Look at everyone that's around them. Look at everyone that was around King Von, Nipsey, Mo 3, Young Dolph. Look at all the connections. Whoever they were photographed with, whoever they work with, see who's still physically alive, see who's moved up, see who came down, see what agreements, because those are very small circles, and they're all numbered like in a 3-6-9 pattern. And they will jump them off or use them for meat and human sacrifice based on the numbering, the year, the date, and time that they signed their contracts, just like Wiz the Wizard. Even though he wasn't a big star, he wasn't made to become one because of who he was signed under, and then he wouldn't let him out of the contract. He murdered him first, even though you don't see it directly. See, that's what y'all don't understand. When some of these people are like, yeah, y'all conspiracy theorists, y'all stupid, y'all crazy, you don't know what you're talking about. This had nothing to do with the Illuminati. This person was at the wrong place in the wrong time, and they was just shot. No. When you see a rapper that's silly and that's not on the radio, not really going nowhere, like Quando Rondo, people like that, those are industry plants, and they've been controlled and fucked in they butt. They suck. They play with boys, and they like to play with their butt. They'll have those around as fillers and fluff that are controlled and create false narratives for them and false careers for them. But the real niggas, they set them up and they use them because those are the strong ones. They don't want to show you those. This shit is a game of manipulation and power and control. And look at how also some of these rappers are tied to Big U, the one that's over the rolling 60s at Greenlit Nip. and how he's now tied into all these rappers and these old head niggas and these old guard niggas, old gatekeepers that got them young boy. I mean, this shit here, I don't want to go into because he said murder, 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 murder. Aleister Crowley, Lucifer, 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 son of the morning. Look at Kanye. Remember he wrote that song? Who he wrote it for? Lucifer, Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm going to chase you out there. Look at who he was with when he wrote that. You really think Kanye is free? You think he's not bound? There's no way you're going to be a multimillionaire, a multi-billionaire inside of that industry unless you take that oath, blood in and blood out. You will have to be a part of the invisible kingdom, the light kingdom, the light bearer, Lucifer. That is a flip side of Shaitan, the jinn. His mother is still not resting and still not in peace. You're not going to be a part of the top fashion industry unless you do homosexual acts, because that's who runs the industry. Very powerful male and females run that industry. You are not going to just get up there because you're brilliant and you're smart. There's going to have to be something flawed, something injured, something leaking, something weak about you. Watch that drill culture. I am telling you. Something very violent is happening in there. It's going to happen now, like from LA, Chicago, Philly, NYC, ATL. Because as you can see, the rapper, they're saying he's a jeweler, but he's with the rap hip hop industry. That has ties to New Orleans and Atlanta through Lil Boosie dirty ass. Drawed up fly looking ass. That's an evil, dirty little motherfucker right there. You hear me? He got a cold soul. Watch Boosie and look who Boosie is tied to. He's standing there, take a picture with that boy, and he knew that boy was finna be hit off. Like, see, they set that shit up. You think that them hits are random, even though they know. I don't know why the boy was in there with all that jewelry and shit on, knowing that niggas rob niggas. Niggas envy and are jealous of the niggas that have money. Even if they have it, they'll still set a motherfucker up that's outshining them or blinging off on them. Young, good-looking boy, dead. That's a top jeweler with big old pieces round his neck. Think long, pretty dreads. Boy, it's now in the morgue. And that was an industry hit. Y'all think that this shit is random or no? That's what niggas do. And he went from there. He should have known not to be in there. Yeah, but what you don't understand is when you're standing close to someone that is a vampire and that feeds off your blood and your flesh, they will have different demonic entities around the person, and they say, I want this person. So the person that has you around them that's already in that industry will then have you close and vibrate you and punch your motherfucking ass out, or the demon on them will point you out. And for some reason, who else am I seeing right now? I just seen a face. Gosh, it just flashed in my mind when I was talking about little Boosie. Chris Brown. I wonder what's going on with Chris Brown because Chris Brown sometimes is very tormented because he has demonic entities on him, and Chris Brown have split personalities, and sometimes it's hard for Chris Brown to be by himself. There's something mentally, emotionally, spiritual that is tormented about him. Like they keep it on the low. And I see him sometimes, that demon on him that was put on him when he was real young, that he cannot get off and control because of them contracts, and also tied to his mother. He looked like he done put his hands on a female. This is not Rihanna. And make them sign agreements not to tell. It's like he go through women's and be up there on them damn Instagram or on them private messages, and women will go to him because of who he is and what they think they're going to get and trying to get. And then this is something about him. Once he'll flip the script on him, that serpent shit. Lure men be one way, and then they say something he don't want to hear or don't want to do what he want to do, and he'll go into a fit and beat they damn. Lord, you know what? Forgive me, Lord. I'm not seeing this here. I know this man, he's very volatile, and he can't help it. And I don't know what type of drug he taking or if he needs some mental health med. See, most of these people, y'all don't know, these people have split personality on them because they have another being on them, and they lure people in to trick them because those demons require a certain number of sacrifices. And that goes back to what I'm telling you, that Nipsey's telling me about the serpent constellation. Serpents is deep, and it has permeated the earth and put a curse on the earth. And people in religion and these higher people that you don't see, and these old niggas on these young children, have released a God spell. Right now, there's a certain amount of 100,000, hundreds of thousands that will be slaughtered right now and sacrificed, because in order for them to stay in power and get what they want based on these scriptures and these sacred texts that you don't know about, they is spending John the Baptist, a lot of these motherfuckers. Now there is two John named John. One is John the Baptist, and another one is a John that's also a prophet that was under Jesus, and they decapitated John the Baptist. And you have to remember, we in the Jason period, July, August, September, October, and November, and I saw Jason's face coming out of the serpent constellation. So is there a new Jason coming out? Because I know there's another Batman that's getting ready to come out as we dealing with the Batman Avengers and dealing with Ave Maria, which is dealing with funerals and death singing, slow singing, coffee drinking, and flower bringing. It's on right now. God damn it. It's on in this bitch, and it is coming from space and NASA. Did they successfully get up Artemis 1? Did Artemis 1 finally go up in space? Because when you're dealing with what Orion, that is supposed to be the one that opens doors and the protector, the Orion, but you're dealing with serpent constellation. You're dealing with the hunter. You're dealing with Artemis 1 that's dealing with the huntress. That is what's supposed to be the protector of children over children, but it will be the reverse. She will be the hunter of children and the murderess of the children, hunting them down, scalping them down, decapitating them, because there's a certain amount of hundreds of thousands. The blood must be shed in order for them to stay in power and to bring these extraterrestrial beings, so-called black and white, that inhabit black and white people, that run the government and made deals with black and white people to sell your soul and sell your... See, you have to understand, there's a certain amount of black people that are ignorant and dumb that were made to be useless meat, to be butchered and to be slaves and enslaved. Babies in women's womb, because it's a lot of dumb black bitches that's in the society. And when I say dumb, I don't mean unintelligent or not in banking and finance. There are a lot of them that are very successful and get money and drugs and children and a part of the sex trafficking and the human and organ trafficking industry, and run hip-hop and executives in music, and that are sex prostitutes and video vixens that are secret spies and double agents inside of the industry. Dumb in the sense that they were born to die. They were born to be sacrificed, and sacrifice the meat and blood of their children and lure young men in and give them deals and opportunities and acting like they helping them and build up their career and give them hits on these major platforms for music and hip hop, to be sacrificed by the machine. Some of these people are not righteous. They are children of lesser gods, and the killing is now. The morgues will be full. These funeral homes will have so many bodies laying everywhere and on the ground. You think that epidemic is gone over the past few years and people being isolated? No, they won't even have room for all these people in the morgues. These people were run down in the streets, and I'm seeing something going in China. Dead bodies and people in prisons and slaughtering them, locking them up to take their organs like they've already done, and other epidemics, other diseases rising that you don't know about, that's released from the sky in space, released from the water in Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, and over in Africa, and over in deserts, and over in these labs you don't know about, that are airborne, that are going to come out because they have a certain amount of the population that was born to die. You better protect yourself. You better call your God and your ancestors, because they are raising out of the water. Because I keep telling you, this stuff is raising out of the earth, the dirt, the sand, the desert, the sea, and the waters of your mind, the waters of your body, and the waters of your earth are very turbulent. And then wars here, and the America and overseas wars in the air, above the earth, in the space, and even in the waters above space, and on planets that you don't even know that are going on, that have been going on, that have been hidden, that are underground and in the middle earth that you don't know about, and the oceans and seas underground, and the highways and tunnels and bunkers underground, secret explosions, secret night drills, and night runs, getting ready to set up toll booths on all of the highways and block off certain territories of where you can and cannot go. Freedoms being locked down, city states. Now some of them will turn into independent states, sovereign, pulling away from the government as a whole because of the catastrophe and the wars that's getting ready to go down. These children, so-called drill rappers and gangbangers, will be dead in the street, and nobody will stop it, and nobody will do anything about it, because it is ordained and meant to be. They're going to watch them fall, and they're going to arrest a lot of them and create their own private militias and armies that will make them hunt each other. The hunter is loose, and they are harvesting the soul and harvesting the body and the blood of lesser gods, and they will want the eye, preferably the left eye and the pupil and the cornea, to learn to implant them, to create demolition men, and to create cyborg beings from the original template of the Terminator, because these things move through the central nervous system and the glands, and they are flipping them through the drugs and the psychedelic drugs, synthetic drugs that they are creating to flip the loyalty and the consciousness of these men against each other, these young Black boys and men and children. They're even teaching little children to shoot each other inside of these drill cultures and these gang cultures, and have no value for life for anybody that looks just like them. They're wiping out a whole generation and a future generation of children, of young people, and all of them are going for it, and most of them are hyped up on synthetic drugs. Humanoid beings, children of a lesser God, walking the earth because they get rewarded to kill. Anybody that looks like them, they get rewarded to not feel anything but anger, violence, hate, and rage, and self-destruction, and destruction of anybody that looks like them. They get rewarded to do that by the old niggas that's the gatekeepers in that industry, running the drug trafficking through that whole generation and population, destroying them and getting them under contract and rewarding them for the destruction. The people, he also said to me, when we're dealing with Mexico, New Mexico, Las Vegas, Route 666, even though somebody said it changed the name, the demonic entities that run it and the skinwalkers are still the same. LA, moving all the way from LA into all the other cities, as well as the race war ones and the ones that hate anything and everybody of color, especially so-called Black people of color. Philly, DC, Chicago, NYC, all those areas up there, even if I'm not naming them, those clusters up there. There are drug raids going on right now under the scenes, setting these boys up to help them set themselves up. Moving through there and through the drugs and synthetic drugs, they are a part of a Santisa Muerta death cult. There's a death cult and a spirit. They must give a certain amount of bodies and a certain amount of blood to thrive in what they do. See, this thing is flipped upside down and it's the reverse, and it's tied into pharmaceuticals because you have chemists that make these drugs and they are given the information through NASA and through the beings that come from the constellation that they call light bearers and beings when they study pharmakia and pharmacology and chemistry to create a flip side of it made by the death dealers, the vampiric spirits, and also dealing with the archon spirits and the astral spiders. See, those archon spirits control the paleo-mammalian brain, the old Adamic brain, the old part of the hind brain that is ruled by even the Anunnaki beings, the Luciferian beings, the satanic beings, the ones that created, the beings that were created, the children of a lesser god in the Garden of Eden. That particular creation, the fallen man, is the one that controls that drug and pharmakia and the archons. The archons are older than you. The fallen angels are older than you. They were on the earth before you. You're one of the creations. And those are the ones that set this death cult in motion because they don't like you anyway. And they have more knowledge than you and rule over you. And you're taught not to study these things and go into your hind brain and your midbrain. That's where all the knowledge is. And they rule you on a subconscious and superconscious level. And they run the matrix program that makes you self-destruct and this whole system. And that is coming out of the Serpent constellation, dealing with the 13th horoscope sign. I'm going to take a break now because, see, this shit is so deep and it's stuff you don't know about your own self and the knowledge of who you are and the system you're in that's going to destroy you. If you fall and you bow to this, the more you call this God and the more you focus on religion, the more your children will die and be destroyed. You up for this so-called right and wrong. As you go more for right, you will get more wrong in your experience because it's set up for you to fail because you don't know who you are. Hit my Cash App, bitch. You want me to come